Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. I'm already telling Jordin Sparks. I love your energy. You're like the
Thank you.
happiest person on a Friday morning that I think I've
I
ever
mean,
seen.
it's a good day.
It is.
In general, I'm a very happy person, but today has been a long time coming, so I'm very excited.
Speaking of a long time coming, 6 years,
Yeah.
new album now. Congratulations.
Thank
Talk to me
you.
about putting the new album together. It's got to be such a thrill.
Well, I mean, it's been a while. You know, it took a while to figure out like exactly where I wanted to go and what sound I wanted to. But once I found it, I just kind of went from there. I was just like, okay, I got it. And that was around 2011 when I started working on Sparkle, Salam Remy. I met him and he was scoring the film, and you know, it kind of grew from there. He heard something in my voice that he was like, I don't think anybody's heard this yet. And he pulled it. He was like, come on, Jordin, you can do it. I've always loved the sound that I've done, but to be able to sing it and actually, you know, put out a full body of work, I'm just very excited.
You've got a little bit of everything on this, and I just read you're thinking about doing country. I mean, there's so much cool
Yeah.
stuff happening. Talk to me about when you're putting this down, you get great cameos from great singers involved. This is, you know, from an artistic venture standpoint, just a creative masterpiece. Talk to me about it.
Thank you. Well, I guess I would kind of take it back to when I was on American Idol during my seasons and the ones prior. You know, we did different genres every week, so everybody kind of knows me being able to do everything. But I grew up listening to such a broad taste or broad range of genres like country, pop, R&B, hip hop, rap. I've listened to it all and I love it all. Country I was doing right before I even did American Idol. So eventually I would love to do a country album. So we'll see. The timing's got to be right. But I was actually asked for the first time on this record, Jordin, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to say? What do you want it to sound like? And to be able to go into the studio with that kind of freedom was awesome, because it wasn't about the genre. It wasn't about how fast it was. It wasn't about anything. It was just go in and create. And I feel like everything really just blended together. So there's a little bit of everything because I'm a little bit of everything.
How much of your private life goes into making an album? And obviously, you've lived in the public eye. People have
Sure,
seen
yeah.
breakups, makeups, all that good stuff. How much of it goes into making music?
I think for any artist, you know, we always draw from inspiration on personal things. I feel like with my first albums, there was a lot of things that I hadn't really experienced yet. So I was just drawing on what I thought it would feel like, what that emotion would feel like, or trying to figure out a different experience that I went through that could kind of relate to it. And now I feel like I've been able to grow these past 6 years and live and learn and experience different things, happiness, sadness, love, pain, all of that. And so I definitely draw from experiences that I've gone through now, instead of, oh, my friend went through that, or my mom went through that. It's now something that I've gone through that I can really speak on. So I feel like as a singer and a performer, the more personal you get, the more people can relate to it.
You've got some great cameos. I mentioned them before.
Yeah.
How do you get people to get on your album?
That is a great question.
Phone calls, lots of phone calls.
You know, it's actually really crazy because, you know, it being so long since I put out an album, it was kind of like, who's going to want to be on an album when it's been so long that I've been gone, you know? So a lot of them, I was very excited. It was really encouraging to see that the people that I reached out to really wanted to be a part of my project as well. And that was amazing for me. I was like, okay, this is awesome. But a few of them was a phone call. A few of them was, it just so happened that we were on the same radio shows this summer, and that was what happened with Shaggy. We kind of kept crossing paths, and then we were like, let's do something. And it came in, I think, a week before we had to turn in the album, and he did an amazing job. Jado is actually on my label as well, so we're label mates. I haven't even met him yet, but he did a great verse on 1000. 2 Chainz I was a fan of. Elijah Blake I was a fan of. B.A.B. I was a fan of. So just to be able to ask, and they were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So it was great.
Idol, you're a teenager. Now you're 25 years old, you're a grown woman. Talk to me
Yeah.
about that evolution as a person.
Well, I mean, it's definitely been crazy. A lot of people ask me how I deal with things in the public eye, and I'm like, I don't really know any different, you know? I went from being a kid in high school to, you know, being one of the most recognizable faces in America at the time. And it was pretty crazy. It was like somebody took me upside down and shook all my pockets out, you know? But it's been a lot of fun. I feel like I've been able to grow and live and lead pretty much a normal life. I don't have the kind of craziness that, say, Britney Spears, you know, maybe had or has, where there's just people constantly following her everywhere. I can still go to the grocery store and, you know, buy
Cheerios.
Yeah, buy some Cheerios and some pickles, and that's a really random combination. But you know, there's other things that go into the
What
basket.
comes to my mind first?
Right.
Crazy, right?
But it's been pretty cool. But I feel like the past 6 years, even though it wasn't for lack of trying to put out new music, you know, sometimes when you pray for something, he either says yes, no, or wait. And I feel like the past 6 years were like, wait, Jordin, you just, you got to take your time. And so I was able to do other amazing things like acting and, really diving in with my charity and doing different things like that. And I got to live too. I got to live and experience different things. 19 to 25 is a really big growth spurt. And I feel like if I hadn't gone through what I went through the past 6 years, I don't think this album would have been what it is.
What's next for you?
Well, I would love to keep acting. I got bitten by the bug and it was amazing. I loved being able to do that. So I would love to keep auditioning and kind of, strengthening that side of my artistry. But music is definitely the focus. We'll put out the album, do as much promo as we can. Hopefully touring is next. But if a role came up and it was the right thing in the right timing, I would do my best to balance both.
You're awesome.